This is the headquarters of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, a bastion of relief and compassion. It is an indispensable component for the federal government in times when it needs to bring succor to its citizens. And nowhere does this seem to be best reflected than in the northeast part of the country, where for some time now, a state of emergency has been in effect. Without doubt, the National Emergency Management Agency reflects to a great deal the compassion of government in hearkening to the call of its people. Like a mirror, it reflects the direction government goes each time there arises natural or man-made disasters. And the compass seems to be directed towards the town of Chibok in Borno State. Before now, Chibok was relatively unknown. Maybe those in Borno knew of this peaceful town, but to the generality of Nigerians and the global community, it was just another place on the map of Nigeria. By fate and through some rather unpleasant coincidence, however, Chibok has been catapulted into national and global limelight.
My name is Alhaji Gandisha Chibok. I'm a staff of that government secondary school Chibok since 1981.
The vice principal of government secondary school Chibok was on ground to give an idea of what's transpired, as well as receive the NEMA team alongside the Christian Association of Nigeria CAN chairman, Borno State chapter, and the traditional head of Chibok community.
They remove everything from the store. Then they go to the principal house, remove everything. They go to the teacher's house, remove everything. And then they start setting fire to the school. Okay. They burn the admin block, burn the laboratory and everything there. Then after that they pack together, okay.
In the wake of the tragic assault on human freedom on this community by members of the Boko Haram terror group, a trail of sorrow, destruction and pain was left behind. Government Secondary School Chibok, which used to be a rallying point for the future leaders of the community, now lies in ruins.
They can burn physical infrastructures, but believe me, they can't destroy our souls.
The past weeks have been particularly tough for most families in Chibok as they go through an ordeal which no parent in Nigeria should experience. Those who perpetrated the dastardly acts did not only abduct the schoolgirls, but also destroyed critical parts of the town where food and other essentials were stored.
If you go to Gigi, their store that they are storing their food was burned the chairman house, and one of our brother in Maiduguri, they burned his house, and one man along Gambo Road, they burned the house.
But the people of Chibok, as gloomy as things seem, are not left to bear the cross alone. The noise of these trucks shattering the quiet of the town is testimony of the federal government's resolve to come to the people's aid with all resources at its disposal. Food and non-food items such as beddings, wrappers, buckets and other essentials form the bulk of the materials. Mohammed Kana has been coordinating many of NEMA's relief distribution exercises in the Northeast ever since the declaration of state of emergency. He has been to places where the people have had to live in conditions hard to imagine. His entire experience put together, however, does not come close to the situation in Chibok.
Situation of Chibok is a peculiar situation different from other disasters.
He says NEMA or the federal government, on whose behalf the relief items are being distributed, are under no illusion that these items are to console the people. Far from it. The present administration hopes it will help buoy the people's hopes that so long as efforts are continuing to find goals, hope must not be lost. He adds that it is normal to provide succor to the traumatized community, while the government has commenced the efforts to ensure the safe return of their abducted daughters back to their families.
We are still on the search for the girls. Mr. President, the Director General and the Vice President wishes to extend his sincere sympathy for the abduction of this girl.
The relief distribution exercise in Chibok is part of an extensive exercise that has seen more than 15,700 persons displaced by insurgents in 5 communities in Borno and Yobe states, benefiting from relief assistance distributed by the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA. In the crowd are young, able-bodied men, some of them helping with the offloading of the bags of relief items soon to be distributed by the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA. The trucks have come, laden with millet, maize, packets of noodles, and other provisions. Supported by the Joint Task Force JTF, the distribution exercise by the NEMA team is carried out in fulfillment of directives from the federal government and executed by NEMA Director General Mohammed Sani Sidi.
This is the National Emergency Management Agency, the agency that gives humanitarian assistance to the victims of any disaster that occur in any society. Today, in the instruction of the Mr. President Goodluck Jonathan, we are here to provide succor to the people of Chibok. We are here now with the material, food and non-food items on behalf of federal government in order to distribute it directly to. On behalf of Mr. President Goodluck Jonathan, I hereby present this prize to you in order to cushion the effort of insurgency attack. A wani shugaban kasa President Goodluck Jonathan ina ba da wannan taimako don ya dan rage muku cikin wahala da ake ciki. Allah kuma ya sauka.
In the mix also are women, some young and others elderly. Like their male counterparts, the goal of almost everyone in this community who have come out on this day is to take home much-needed food and other relief items. The NEMA relief team, while in Chibok, coordinated its relief distribution activities with a joint task force, JTF, providing necessary security cover. As is the case in other places where humanitarian relief took place, the relief team took time to sort out the materials, which from the size of the food and non-food items on ground is more than enough.
So today, we are here to fill the whole of Chibok town with enough food.
NEMA's humanitarian relief intervention has been bringing smiles to faces in communities where the state of emergency is in effect. These parents of some of the missing girls in Chibok, though not smiling yet, are grateful to NEMA for the timely intervention with the relief materials. The parents testify to this with prayers of appreciation to the bringers of succor, praying at the same time that all efforts geared towards bringing the girls back alive would yield positive results.
I'm one of the fathers that our daughters are adopted. I have 2 daughters. And I want to extend our regard to the President of Nigeria, as he sympathized with us and sent this food. Really, it's very helpful.
The game that we are in now is very, very hectic, and it's a serious pain that this contribution is very important to people who are in need. As many that are here, and many will benefit from it because of the kind and the gift and the plan that the NEMA has for Chibok particularly. It will assist so many people.
Muna godiya. Mun gode wa gwamnati, mun gode wa NEMA wanda ya ɗauka wahala ya gani mutane mu suna cikin kan wahala ya aika musu abin da za su ci a bakin su. Mun gode.
Whether it be provision of water where scarcity prevails or food items and other essentials, NEMA has indeed continued to live up to its billing as the #1 emergency management agency in the country. The NEMA Northeast Zonal Coordinator also used the opportunity of the visit to assure the people that the federal government was doing all within its powers to ensure the abducted girls are returned and safely too.
The President has already given the instruction. We should do our mandate, our responsibility to see that we rehabilitate. Apart from giving relief, we do rehabilitation.
Only recently, President Goodluck Jonathan, in seeking collaborative efforts to tackle the scourge of insurgency, secured the buy-in of neighboring African countries, the French government and the United States in the fight against insurgency.
We are totally committed to ensuring that these girls are found wherever they are and make sure that they join their families. We'll do all our best. Presently, Nigeria has 20,000 troops in this part of the country, the northern part of the country, the northeastern part of the country, where we have these terrorists.
The operation went on smoothly, once again showing that the people and those come to provide succor were in sync. Another day of relief distribution gone by, but not the last which NEMA carried out in places where life is getting back to normal and peace is reigning supreme. Aside Chibok, Gamburu, that was raided by insurgents, resulting in the loss of lives and destruction of many homes, received relief items. Other beneficiaries are Jakana and Mainok in Kaga local government area of Borno State, located along Damaturu-Maiduguri Road. They too have come under repeated attacks. Relief items were distributed to about 4,400 displaced persons in these places. The idea of impacting on the lives of those affected by the ensuing mayhem in the northeast part of the country is highly commendable on the part of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA. And translating thought to idea through relief distribution exercises lent credence to the thoughtfulness and goodwill of the federal government for the people of Nigeria. Yobe State is also one of the places where the relief team touched on. NEMA, through its relief distribution, strives to bring relief materials to thousands in Yobe State, particularly the lowly and deprived. Getting food in time of a state of emergency continues to prove to be an issue, especially for those on the lower rung of the ladder. The vulnerability of several communities in Yobe State to attacks from insurgents seem to have